to the channel, guys. Merry Christmas. I know I am releasing this on Christmas Day, but I've had a project long coming that I've been meaning to do, and I finally just got around to doing it. A lot of things has happened between then and just, you know, being busy, you know, full-time job, part-time job, business, and this. I have been asked for a comparison between this piece, which is the Bul Armory SAS Tac 4.25. I have an EPS on there as well, and the Wilson Combat SFX9 in 4-inch. So this is my second SFX that I have owned. I owned a previous one, which is a 3.25 with no tack, with no with no texture on the front, and no rails either. So I was fortunate enough to find one in 4 over the Black Friday weekend, and I got it. So difference between the two is pretty interesting and it's dynamic at all. But yeah, this has been my EDC for the past couple of months, but I'm switching over to this now. So let me just kind of share you why, and let's do a little bit of comparison, a little versus between the two. If you guys want to see reviews on both of these pistols, there's plenty of YouTubers out there. I know that Tactical Considerations, I know Tactical Toolbox, and there's, you know, just look it on YouTube, you'll find them. The purpose of this video is to do a comparison between both of these, how do they shoot together, and what have I noticed. So first thing I've noticed is the Bul Armory SAS 2 well, the SAS Tac Pro, not Tac Pro, just a Tac. Man, when you own too many things and you put them together, it's a lot. So anyways, this carries 18 plus 1. So this, you can see this magazine carries 18. The Wilson Combat SFX9 carries 5, but if you can tell, this is a very, very thin magazine compared to this fatter one. As you can tell, I'm just like, this is a very slim design, and I think the Staccato CS, their magazines is probably a little bit wider than this one as well, which I kind of like it. I'm gunning for the thinner double stack 1911s, 2011s out there in the market right now, because my hands are tiny. I do not have girthy hands, so if you have girthy hands and you want something bigger, then maybe this will help you just kind of figure out the difference between the two. Make sure to like and subscribe, that stuff. And some people will ask, well, why else should I like and subscribe? Well, to piss off the algorithm. We like to retain our rights. Come on. First, checked that they're all empty. So as you guys can tell, empty. Okay. This also empty. Cool. Nice. So already at the very beginning, the spring on this one, a lot lighter compared to this one. A lot lighter. Okay. This is a polymer grip lower. This is an aluminum grip lower. And let me see. This is lighter. I think this is around 20 ounces. This is around 23 ounces. I'll have to do like a weight check or something like that. But this comes optic cut. This one, you'll have to ask Wilson Combat or a separate gunsmith to do a cut for you. I know that you can get some some optic cuts from Wilson Combats. I know that they sell some that are optic cut, but not all of them do, which is kind of unfortunate because we're all kind of going optic cuts these days. And this Bul Armory has a double undercut, as you can see right there, double undercut. This one has a single undercut, and it's not as deep as this one. You can tell this is pretty. There's that, and then there's this. Okay, so yep, as you can tell. So I like the double undergrips because when I do hold it, my fingers go like right here, and I push out. Okay, this one, since it's flat, I mean, it does the job well, but that's how it goes. Okay, so this one does, since this does come optic cut for an RMR already. I have an Hollis on EPS, which the plate comes with it, but this thing has four rails. This one has 2, and how do they fit holster wise? It was actually pretty great. Let me go ahead and get my holster for. Got an LAS concealment. This is the Ronin 3.0 with the librarian one, so it fits this just fine. No big deal. Pretty great because of the librarian holster, which I like. Thinking about switching to a smaller light though, but this does also fit the this Wilson Combat, and she fits. So, how do they shoot? Wow. So, I found myself shooting this better than I shot this. It's kind of crazy thinking about it right now, but yeah, I just saw, I felt that with 115 grain that I was shooting out there, it was, you know, I felt this was more snappier than the SFX9. I think, you know, just my reasoning to believe is, I believe this is a little bit more snappier because of it being lighter. You know, it's yeah, I felt this thing just kind of jumping up a little bit more, which is why that, you know, every time I want to add a little bit more weight down here, it'll help out a lot. Or maybe just getting a different spring. I know that DPM Systems barely released the Bul Tac springs for this and the UL, which is pretty cool. I'm thinking about getting one in order for that one. But yeah, I found this shooting a little bit more snappier than this one. This is a little heavier though, which is probably the reason why, but I felt the recoil was going into the palm of my hand and going up in my hand, even though this is a 4-inch and this is a 4 1/4, which is kind of weird. You know, I would figure this one would probably shoot back in my, you know, into the grip of my hand a little bit more, but no, it was actually going up. But this one, I felt it was just more molding into my hand. Now, since this is a polymer grip, whether the conditions for the weather isn't too bad with this one, but I definitely notice it with this one since it is an aluminum grip. Since the grip is all metal, you'll definitely feel it in the cold if you're shooting this barehanded. So just keep that in mind. If you're concealing this though, and if your body heat is up against this, it should be fine. So this one, no issues, no problem. I did find myself getting a better grip on this one than I do with this one, but I shot this one better than I shot this one, which is kind of weird. Let me see, everything's pretty positive. The hammer, the safety on this one is just a little bit more heavier on this SFX9 than it is on this one. Both of these do have 3 to 3.5 pound pull trigger, which is pretty nice. But let me see, other than that, I know that these mags, there's an 18 rounder, there's a 26 rounder, I believe as well. And the SFX model, they do have a 15 rounder and they have an 18 rounder as well, which I thought was pretty good. So if I can get an 18 rounder in this one and get this thing off the cut, oh, this thing is ready to go. Plus, not that, this one has blacked out sights. See, no sights on that one. It's just totally rear blacked. This one has sights. So it's pretty, you know, pretty neat, pretty nifty. When I do get this cut, I do want to keep this one, the rear sights though. So I'm gonna see if David Simkig from DCS Gunworks can do that for me. He probably could, hopefully. So now shooting with this 115 grain is not bad. 50 grain, it's actually pretty reasonable too. It's much more gentler on my hands. It is a little louder though, but it's more gentler on my hands. Now shooting 115 grain out of this one, same thing, ain't too bad. Now shooting this with 50 grain, wow, this is this is pretty amazing. You know, every gunner, every shooter out there knows that like whenever they shoot guns, the best thing they want to do to avoid we all do what we can in order to avoid recoil or just kind of eliminate recoil in general. We look at comms, porta barrels, all this other fun jazz. But man, you know, we're on our way there. You know, obviously this is 18 round, this is 15 round. This will stick out more than the SFX. Wow, the Tac, this Bul Armory, the grip will definitely stand out a lot more than this. You know, I'm gonna show you. So empty round, it sits like this, right? So we have this extra just hanging off, right? What I really like about the SFX9 is when you do insert the mag, it sits totally flush between that. So I really like this design rather than this, because this with the magazine that pokes out compared to this is great. Now let's go into the internals. All right, y'all, so as usual, please, whenever you do break down your guns, make sure that they're not loaded. So this is not loaded, and this, make sure not loaded at all either. Cool. As you can tell, this rack's a lot smoother than this Bul Armory. Watch, I'll show you. Right there. I feel that right there. Cool. So at the very beginning, what you want to do, well, I'm gonna leave that on actually because I don't need it. So obviously there's that. This, take it out. There you go. So the great thing about this is I don't need a tool in order to take the guide rod out. This, that. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna take these two magazines, put it away. So this is the Bul Armory side. This is the Wilson side. Okay, and this is the Bul Armory side. So there's this. Okay. There you go. Now with this, you do need a tool, but if you want to, I think you can take it out without a tool, which I think is annoying as hell. Yep, right there you need one of those tools to get out. So that's what I'm gonna do, just take a paper clip. Right there. Put it in. And now just push that down. Get it out there. It's this. So yeah, if you want to have that extra strap, you can. But if you do get the DPM systems from, well, the guide rod from DPM systems, then I think that would be a better one. We'll see. But this is what the guide rod looks like between the Bul, as you can tell. There's that, and then the SFX. So this is only a single piece guide rod. This, I believe, is a single as well. It's not a, there's no two springs in here, which I've been looking into, you know, to find ways to mitigate recoil. So there's that. So now here's the barrels. So as you can tell, the barrels are different. This one actually has the notes here as traditional 1911s have. So when you do oil this thing, there is that too. That, let me see if we can get that in frame right there. Make sure that you oil this as well, and make sure you get this oil. So in a traditional sense, in most 1911s or 2011s, they have this. Now the SFX does not have that actually. I've been oiling pretty much just right here, because in here you can tell there's nothing except for that tip right up here, where if you want to rotate the this out. So yeah, oiling this one is a lot less than oiling this one. And just putting it back together is pretty damn simple too. So there's that. You guys know the drill. Oh, another thing, that if you do want to change the triggers for both of them, you have to disassemble this thing completely if you want to switch the triggers on this one. I believe so anyways. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I'll have to do some more research on that one. With this, I know that there's a screw right in here where you can actually remove the trigger shoe out and put another one in. That's what's really unique about Bul Armory, is they have their own trigger shoes. You can have, this is totally curved, you can have a hybrid curve, or you can have a total flat face. You can either have a large, medium, or small trigger, which I think is pretty dope. But generally it's pretty much the same thing. Now, as you can see right here, this is where, whenever I rack the slide, this one holds up. Here, inside, there you go, if you can see that right there. make sure you oil here as well. Make sure you leave this up here, otherwise that little janky thing will happen a lot. So I will be, other than that, there you go. When it comes down to both of them, this, if you're gonna duty carry this, this is meant for either concealment duty, like EDC and duty. This is pretty cool. This is definitely a good viable option. This does fit my Safari land as well, 6930 I believe. But yeah, it does. All I have to do is put a light on it, and then I know that holster fits the staccato C2, as long as that, either you have a Surefire X300 or a TLR1, like it'll fit. This one isn't made for duty. However, I want to run it like a duty holster. I want to run it like a duty. So within a couple of weeks, I am going to be going on a shooting raid with a couple of my friends. We're going to be training out into the we're just going to be out there training. We're going to be running drills and stuff like that. So I'll be using this to run it as much as I can, which I think will be fun. But yeah, I will be running this as a duty down the line. But if Wilson Combat can make something like this, with a thin frame like this, nothing bigger, that can hold more rounds, and make it as a duty, oh my god, I'd be all over it. The MSRP between these two is a $2,000 difference. This is, I believe, $1,700. Getting a SFX9 right now, you're looking anywhere from between $2,900 to $3,300, depending if you want the optic cut or not. So I found this on a deal, thank God. And yeah, so far it's like she's been pretty good. I have been learning to carry just a little bit heavier though, just depending on the belt that you're wearing and the holster that you have. So with LAS, it's pretty cozy. I am thinking about getting a pure custom leather holster quite soon. But right now I've been trying out my EDC and seeing what works and what doesn't. I think I found a way that works. So obviously with the with holsters like this for both of them, if I split up, instead of running a sidecar, I'm just gonna get one holster like this just by itself, and then just get a separate mag carrier and just pretty much separate it between the two, because I am a thin guy. I'm like a $120, so you can just imagine that weight for me does mean a big deal. And there's just that. So other than that, guys, that's just your comparison between the two. Right now I'm leaning a lot more to the SFX9 than the Bul right now, even though I love Buls. I love the Yoel, I love this. But right now as an EDC, I don't think I can carry this as an EDC. I know that Night with Guns does, and he's amazing at what he does. But as a duty, this is obvious. I ran this at a couple of range trips, and it does just fine, but I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to run this as a duty, and we'll see how this goes. Run a couple of range trips. Other than that, guys, you guys have a good one and take care. More videos coming soon.